Alright, using the pliers, I was finally able to get that to come off. I had to wiggle at it. It's actually kind of fused on there. But the hose itself still doesn't want to remove, so I'm going to have to jiggle that around a bit. It's like pretty tight on there, fused on there. So we'll try to wiggle it and get it out, and then I got to do the same for the other side. Probably should have worn my gloves because it's messy in here. I'm getting grease all over myself. But at this point it's a little too late. And I have to, I guess future suggestion would be put on some gloves before you work on this. It's a little late for me right now. But I'll try to get this off completely and try to get the other side, which is going to be a pain because you got to go up underneath here to try to get it out. So we'll see what happens here. After quite a bit of struggle, I was finally able to yank the thing out of there. So it is now out. No fluid is leaking because the engine is cool. What a mess. So now we're going to do the hard part, which is getting up underneath there to try to get that one out. That's going to be a pain. But that's what we're going to have to do. I don't know who the heck designed this car, but they did not make it easily accessible. You can see this front hooded, the front grille area, radiator thing here. This guard is in the way. I hope I don't have to disassemble the whole front end of the car just to get access to that hose, because if I do, this is going to take a long time, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. I might have to take off the whole front assembly, which to me is ridiculous when you're just trying to change out a hose. There's like not enough room to go in here to try to wedge that out, so what I'm going to do is disassemble the PCM ECM computer, and that way it'll give me a couple more inches to try to wiggle this around in there. So that's what I'm going to have to do, which is ridiculous. For those of you who might have to do this on this particular vehicle, 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan, this is a 10mm, and I had to have a little adapter for that to get it to fit, the smaller tip, but I'm going to use a 10mm socket to undo that. So let me go ahead and do that. It's hard for me to do it in film, so we'll go ahead and pause the camera for now. Alright, we got both screws out, so hopefully that's all that I had holding it. Yep. So I didn't put in a third screw in the bottom there, and I'm not going to, otherwise it would be really hard to remove. We got the PCM computer, ECM computer. This is the one that Charles sent me, the upgraded one. Got it out, and now I should have a little bit more leverage room down there, hopefully enough to clear the pliers and get it out there to loosen the clamp and get the thing out without disassembling the whole front end of the vehicle. Alright, with the ECM computer out of the way, I was able to get these pliers in here like this, see? And I was able to loosen that clamp down there. I don't know if you can see the clamp down there. See the little, it's like not much room here. See a little clamp right there? I was able to get it loose. So we're gonna try, that's the clamp that was holding everything in place. See, it's got these little things, these little arm things. That's what I was having to clamp down. See how wide that is? And then I'm gonna try to slide this out and put in a new hose. So without further ado, let's do that, and hopefully we can do it. Thankfully, this part of the hose is coming out a lot easier. And here then is our hose. The damage appears to be just right here, this little hole right here. That's where the leak was coming from right there, that crack. I was thinking about this last night, and I was like, I could have probably put the silicone rubber repair, but you can see how when I push it, see all these other little holes forming? It's starting to crack, so it would have been a very temporary repair that would have ended up having to be fixed again later. And you can usually tell how good the hose is by feeling its softness. It is soft right here at the spot. And the rest of it is starting to get soft too. Not super soft, but not as soft as this spot that obviously blew. I guess sometimes the rubber wears out fast in one section and another, or it was weak to start off with. So we're going to try to go ahead and get the hose back on at this point and see if we can't get the thing to lock back into place. Wish me luck. After trying to figure out which way the hose went, whether it went this way or this way, I decided that the fluted end, the end with the bigger opening, even though on my original they look the same, but I put the end with the big opening on the inside here. I don't know if you can see that, but I haven't tried to put the clamp back on yet. I'm going to try to clamp it later, and this time we'll put it to the side to give it a little bit easier access. But we're going to try to put that clamp back on there after I put this on this side. So we're going to try to just slide this on here and push it in all the way and get it to kind of hold itself in place, hopefully. And then clamp it down and see if we can't get the whole thing fixed and not leaking. Wish me luck! Alright, the good thing is it looks like it is sliding on without too much problems. I'm sliding it in as deep as it'll go. So that is about as deep as I can get it to lock into place right here. And then we're going to try to get the clamp pulled forward to lock in place. And then we got to do the same for the one on the inside. And if that fixes it, we're in luck. I just realized I just lost my cap tip here for my windshield wiper fluid, which by the way isn't working either, so need to look into that and see what's going on with that. I think it doesn't work. I'll have to double check it. But we're gonna go ahead and try to clamp this stuff back down and see what happens. Alright, I think I'm gonna make an executive decision. These stupid little things, they require your pliers or grips or whatever to squeeze these together and pull it back on. But it's proving to be a pain in the butt to do that. And I think that if I have to do this again in the future, seeing how it was a pain to get this all off, I'm going to opt for just getting this. You know, they sell this at the auto store. It's a little metal clamp that can go over, and then I can just screw it in with a screwdriver. You know, you just twist it on there to tighten it. So I'm going to try to hope this holds long enough, and I'm going to try to drive to AutoZone or something down the street. And I think I'll go ahead and remove the old ones before it gets hot. And try to put the new ones on once I get there, or I'll go ahead and do it when I get there. Hopefully the vehicle didn't get too hot to drive over to Discount Auto or AutoZone nearby, and hopefully it doesn't squirt out as it is right now because it's not clamped down, though it could. I've got to reassemble everything again. I ended up having to keep this cap off while I was working on it because I kept hitting it and it kept falling off. So let's try to do that. I don't even know if the store's open. I hope they are open, because if they're not, this is going to be a pain. Alright, I got everything reassembled under the hood, including installation of the ECU PCM computer. So let's hope it all starts up. And she starts right up, which is good. Now, she's probably going to leak if the radiator fluid heats up, because I have not clamped it down. So it's going to be under pressure, but right now I think it's still cool enough. And there is a Discount Auto or whatever near here where I can try to get it fixed. I can try to get the clamps, and hopefully it won't be too hot then. But if I can get the clamp replaced at that point, that should hopefully solve this leaking radiator fluid problem. I am probably going to get more fluid. We'll need to add some more 50-50 mix, and hopefully that's the end of Little Blue's radiator fluid leak. We'll see what happens. It's a good thing I kind of know this area here. There is an AutoZone right nearby and O'Reilly's across the street, but we're going to try to go to this AutoZone. Somebody's being kind and letting me through. Thank you very much, stranger. And see if I can't. I'm going to park away from other people. Let's see if I can't get in here and fix it right here on the spot, on location. Out here once I get the correct clamp size. So, wish me luck. Alright, $20 later, we have some hose clamps. I got the kind with the little screw bolts and screwdriver that can access it, versus the kind with the, they have a kind with a little handle that you could turn, which should be easier to use. But what I'm afraid of is if that plastic handle breaks off, you know, the little butterfly handle they have on the end here to turn it. They're flying overhead here. If the thing breaks off, then you won't be able to get it back out. So we're going to go with this. That way I can try to get it out with a screwdriver or a socket that'll fit that hole. I also got some 50-50 mix antifreeze coolant. I went ahead and got the 50-50 mix versus getting a full-blown and then mixing it with water, because space is a premium in the vehicle. you don't want to have like 2 jugs, you know. You'd have to mix it until you get it down to halfway, and I don't have an extra jug. So went ahead and paid for the 50-50 mix. So $20 later, we got this. Now it's going to be a matter of pulling out the old clamps and reinstalling everything with the new clamps in place and tighten it down. I did go ahead and put on my gloves a little late. You know, should have done this at the very beginning, but they actually have a degreaser in the bathroom at the AutoZone, which is where I am at right now. So I was able to go in there, wash my hands a little bit. They were, long story short, they didn't really have enough in there. I can ask for more, but I was able to degrease my hand for the most part, so I don't want it greasy now. So let's go ahead and remove the old clamps and put the new ones on and see what happens. Alright, I was able to pull the old clamp out. It did squirt out a little bit more antifreeze coolant. See, it's still dripping because it was flowing through the system here. And then you just slide the old one out. So we're not even going to save this. Not going to be using it. It was a pain in the butt to get off. So we'll slide the new one on right here and try to make it so we can easily access it. So I'm going to go this way. I slide it on over the hose like that, and just put it right over, clamp this, push that in out there and lock it in place, and then I'll screw it down, tighten it up, and then I'll do the other side. I'm gonna need both hands to do this, so I'm gonna stop filming for now. Gloves aren't pausing the camera here. Alright, I got this first one in pretty much. You can see I took the screwdriver here and just tighten it like that. You know, well, not like that, but... And I tried to make it so I can easily access it. I'm going backwards here, but you tighten that down and that should clamp it into place. Now that remains to be done is on the inside, so let's get that going and hopefully this repair will be done. Just a little tip if you happen to be doing this yourself. I am taking the screwdriver right now and I'm trying to get this thing sized down while I have it loose like this to the correct size instead of really loose like the initial one. You can see how far I had to screw it down to tighten it. See how many thingies it went out. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more a couple more turns on this, then I'm going to mount it like this on the inside here so I can access that. Now what's cool is you can use a socket to access this, or you could use a screwdriver. So I'm going to try to do it with the screwdriver, but we'll see if we can't get this in there. Here you can see I've sized it up, just tight enough to fit on this, but hopefully not overly tight so it still can be moved. But it's pretty tight, that way I don't have to do it too much when it's inside. And the plan is to mount it like this and put the screw at a diagonal angle so I can access it from the top without disassembling the whole thing. And you can see I got the ECM here on already. I'm able to slide it in and out so we don't have the problem we had initially. At least hopefully not. I had to loosen it back up just a little bit to get it to, because once you squeeze it in, it actually expands out a little bit due to hitting the metal tube on the inside. So don't make it super tight like I did. Leave it a little bit of room to play so you can move it around. But I'm trying to set it so it's at a diagonal angle so I can easily unscrew it in the future if I have to replace this hose again. Learn what happened when we tried to get in the first time. So let me go ahead and tighten it all up and see what happens. Alright, I ended up mounting it towards the bottom there so I could stick the screwdriver there and turn it. I tightened it as tight as I could get it, not going super tight, and I think it's in a position where I could easily take it back out if I need to by taking a screwdriver down there and just hitting that and turning it the other way. Now it's a matter of tightening down these bolts here that we had for the ECM PCM computer, and I think our repair is done. I'll be tossing all these extra hoses and stuff because there's no point in carrying it around. If I had a garage in a home, I'd probably save the hoses as spares. You know, even a part of it was ruined, I might save it as a spare to cut up to use for doing an emergency repair or something. But for now, I think we're good to go. We just need to bolt that down, and I think Blue's leaky radiator fluid will be repaired once I add the coolant here. So I'm finishing the repair by using our socket wrench to tighten down our ECM computer again that we had to take out. in the future. I don't think we'll have to take it out now because the clamp should be easier to access. It wasn't too bad. I think that's tight enough, maybe. Alright. Appears to be tight enough. And then it's a matter of adding radiator fluid. Let's take a look and see what we got going on here. Leak wasn't too bad. It's down by about 3 inches or so down in there. I don't know if you can see it in there. It's down by about 3 inches. We're just going to pour in some of the 50-50 mix. You can see that bar seal that I still have in there. So we'll go ahead and pour some of the 50-50 mix in there and see if we can't get this thing running nice again without squirting fluid everywhere. Alright, I've topped off the fluid now. Shaking the vehicle a little bit. Get all the air bubbles out. It is topped off. We're going to go ahead and put the radiator cap back on and check everything out, and hopefully everything is fixed. The cap is on all the way. Take our tools. This is done. I'll put all this stuff up here in a minute. We'll put it all up, then we'll start up the vehicle and make sure there's no leaks, and we should be all set. That start blew up. Uh-oh. Why does it not want to start? Something's not right. Okay, I double checked all the battery connections, the ECM, PCM computer connections under the hood. I was freaking out, having a moment of freaking out. But you can see everything is starting now. And I just realized I've got grease all over this that I'm going to have to clean. But let's take a look. Looking good so far. Looks like no leak right here. I wonder if I could have even pushed it up even further. I think the edge is right here on the, I think we're good right there. What's underneath there, but I guess we'll find out if I start seeing steam coming out. But for the most part, I'm going to say this repair was a success. It looks like blue is running again. But we'll find out once we start driving her and seeing if fluid squirts everywhere again. Now this side had been wet. I was assuming it was shooting from here and coming across the hit here. So if it's still wet on this end, I've got a problem. Another problem. So next time, everyone, I hope your vehicle's running better. I hope you're staying safe. Hopefully things will go smooth with me today. I've got to head over to Walmart to try to get my hours increased. They cut me down to 4 hours for the entire week. They kept telling me they were going to fix it and going to fix it and going to fix it, and they didn't fix it. And I didn't claim my shifts at the Space Coast Stadium because I had to be open completely for Walmart, and then they never fixed it. So I'm getting ready to go to work today at the stadium, but I'll be going by Walmart to see if I can get my hours increased for next week. Otherwise, I'm only scheduled to work 4 hours for the entire week, and that obviously is going to be a serious problem.